Good morning, students. We are back with your Social Studies chapter 14, that is Coming of the British and the Revolt of 1857. The objectives of this lesson are discovery of a sea route to India, East India Company, Battle of Plassey, exploitation of Indians by the British, revolt against the British. Now gear up. Read the given information and choose the correct option. 100 years ago, India was a republic or under the control of the British. Which is the right answer? The right answer is under the control of British. Second, European came to India through sea route or land route. The correct answer is sea route. To trade with India, East India Company was established by British or Chinese? By British. Yeah. In the ancient time, India was famous for its spices, cotton, textile, jewelry, and pearls. Children, India was said as a Sone ki chidiya in the olden time. So, why it was said? Because, as it is said in the very first line of the chapter, that it was very famous and rich in spices, cotton, textile, jewelry, and pearls. Indian goods were the great demand all over the world, especially in Europe. It has been trading with Rome and Greece for centuries. The Arabs were among the first to come to India for the trade. A very important line, please underline. Later, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, and the French followed. They fought among themselves to gain control over trade. Trade means business. Can you see the picture of Vasco da Gama? A Portugal ruler who was the first to discover India through sea route. See the year. In 1498, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, discovered a new sea route to India, the Cape of Good Hope. He thought of doing the business with India. The Portuguese used this route to reach Calicut. Calicut is a south part of India and started trading in the region. At that time, Calicut was a major producer of spices. Yes. You know, children, what is spices? In Hindi, we say masala. Okay. Now, Vasco da Gama got permission from the ruler of Calicut to carry on trade with India. They were supposed to take the permission. So he got the permission and he started trading with India. Soon the Portuguese got monopoly rights over trading. Slowly, as they became rich in trading with India, the monopoly started and they became very rich and they wanted to do more trade with India. Now, East India Company. Children, can you see in the map the sea route discovered by the Vasco da Gama? On page 87, he started from Portugal and how he discovered and came to India. In a red line it is marked. Yeah. After the Industrial Revolution, other European countries such as Holland, France, and Britain also became interested in India because they needed raw material, trade goods, and new market. They had a very big factories, but raw material did not produce in their country, so they came to India to buy the raw material, trade goods, and for the new market. After taking the raw material to their country, they used to make the product and bring back to the markets to sell. A few British merchants established the East India Company in 1600 with the permission from the Queen Elizabeth I, who was the Queen of England at that time. The company obtained permission from the Mughal Emperor Jahangir to trade in India. Means they got the permission from Mughal Emperor Jahangir to do the business with India. Upon obtaining trading rights, the British set up trade center in Bombay and Madras. That is, now Bombay is Mumbai and Madras is Chennai. The French too set up a trading company and established center in Chandranagar in Bengal and Pondicherry, now Puducherry. Yeah, so the French also started their business. So from this you can make out the foreign countries, they wanted to trade with India and become rich. Now, The British did not like this. British did not like this French people doing the business with India. They fought with the French. They fought with the French and they defeated them, and as a result, the French only had a permission to do the trade with Pondicherry. Okay, children, can you see the picture of Queen Elizabeth I? Yes. Now, Battle of Plassey. After death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the East India Company became more ambitious. Here, after death of Aurangzeb, they got more ambitious to do the business on a high scale. The British had their own army to protect their trade. They wanted to bring Bengal under their control. They wanted the full Bengal to be theirs to do the business because they easily got the labor and the farmers over there. Thus, they started building forts and settlement in the 17th century. Children, in some part of India, you can see the big forts, especially in Delhi. Then this Dadra Nagar Haveli side, all this is all been built by British in their times. Thus, they started building forts and settled in 17th century. They also maintained an army in Bengal. They had their own army. When Siraj-ud-Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal, he ordered the British to remove their army and stop its construction activity as they had not paid any taxes. Yeah, previously also they had to pay the tax. So Siraj-ud-Dawla just removed the army and stopped them from the construction. Later, when they denied the march against the British in 1756, the British denied, and this incident infuriated means became angry. Yeah, the British, and they attacked Bengal in 1757. Siraj-ud-Dawla defeated. He failed. He lost in the Battle of Plassey, and the British became very powerful in Bengal. They were very cunning. They wanted the full Bengal to be theirs. This was the first step towards the conquest of Bengal. Yes, as I told you, they wanted the full Bengal of theirs. However, they were determined to take the control over the whole of India. Slowly, they had the idea of taking the whole India in their hand. Okay. The kings and the nawabs of a small kingdom in India always fought among themselves. The British helped one ruler against another and gain power and wealth. Yeah, they became friendly with the Indian rulers, and they used to uh, 1 minute. The British helped one ruler against the another. Yeah, they used them and they fought and they took away their kingdom. This way, slowly they started defeating all the kingdoms and took over the rules. This policy of British was known as divide and rule. This policy helped the British to capture various kingdoms of the Indian rulers. From this we can make out that there was no unity among the Indian ruler. Here a small picture of Battle of Plassey is given. Okay. Then we come with another battle of Buxar took place in 1764 between the combined army of Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and the two Nawabs with the British East India Company. Again, the British emerged victorious here also because they had a powerful army. Thus, the Bengal administration finally came under the British rule, and the British East India Company obtained the rights to collect revenue from the state. And this way, they used to harass the Indian farmer and the poor people. After their victory in the Battle of Buxar, the British started extending their territories through various policies. They had their own policies which was forced on the people to follow. According to one such policy, the British declared that if the king died with the natural heir of his kingdom, that is his own child. If the king did not his own child, and after he died, the kingdom was taken away by British. The policy was called the Doctrine of Lapse. Through this policy, the British were able to occupy Jhansi, Nagpur and many other kingdoms. I told you they used one king against another, and slowly they took over the half of the India. Here the picture of Lord Richard Wellesley is given. Yeah. The subsidiary alliance was introduced by Lord Richard Wellesley, who was the Governor General of India from 1798 to 1805 for a long such period. Yes. According to this policy, Indian rulers under British protection had to maintain British troops within their kingdom. This gave the British control over the affairs of many kingdoms. Now we come to the exploitation of Indians by the British. Once they were firmly established in India, the British started using many unfair means of achieve their aim of getting rich. Yeah. Now slowly exploiting the Indians, the British had set up the mind of using one ruler against other, and slowly they started discovering India by their wrong means. The British began exploiting the farmers. The Indian farmers had to pay heavy tax irrespectively of the yield they produce. As a result, they became very poor. They had to pay whatever they earn, 70 to 80% they had to pay the tax. Similarly, the weavers were forced to sell the cloth they produce at very low prices. From the farmer, they used to buy at the very low prices. Upon that, they had to pay the heavy tax, so the farmer were facing a very big problem. Then Indian cotton industries was also a victim of British greed. Yes, all the Indian cotton industry were facing a very big problem, and it was difficult to overcome the British greed. British did not grow cotton due to the cold climate, but they had a big cotton textile mills which required the cotton for their factories. So cotton was bought at a low price from the Indian farmers and exported to Britain. In return, cotton cloth was sent back and sold at the high prices in India. The British also did not allow Indians to start their own mills or factories. The British restricted the Indians to start their own mills or factories. The farmers who produced the cotton was compulsory to sell to them only at a very low price, and they were facing lot the problem, and the result was they were becoming poorer and poorer. This exploitation led to dissatisfaction among Indians, and a feel of revolt grew in them. And the exploitation in a various ways of harassing the Indian farmers and poor people, they were really dissatisfied, and these all things gave Indians a feel of revolt in them. Children, here some four meanings are given. Administration means political control. Heir means child, successor. Exploit means to make the wrong use. And revolt is a violence resistance to authority. Okay, now we come to revolt against the British. People in different parts of India has been protesting against the exploitation policies of British. Indian people did not forcefully wanted to follow their rules because they were all wrong. The revolt of 1857, according to the historians, in an Indian landmark in Indian history. Yeah, this was the first time, so it was an important landmark in Indian history. The first Enfield rifle was introduced in a Bengal army in 1856. Okay. This is also very important. The revolt was started by the Indian soldier in a British army. The reason of the revolt was the introduction of Enfield rifle. Even our army, our Indian people worked for British and they were trained. A rumor spread that the cartridges of the rifle were greased with the fats of cows and pigs. Yeah, the Indian soldiers came to know the cartridges used by them in a battlefield was greased by fats of cows and pigs. The covering of these cartridges had to be beaten. Yeah, before it is used, it has to be beaten with the mouth, and then it was used, and then they were loaded in the guns. This meant that the soldier had to put the cartridges in their mouth. This was against the religious sentiment of both Hindus and Muslim soldiers. Indian soldier refused to use these rifles and the revolt started. Yeah, here itself in a soldier, Hindu and Muslim, they came to know that the cartridges which were used were greased with the fats of cows and pigs, and they refused to use it. And here they just refused, and the revolt started among the soldiers here. The revolt of 1857 had begun at Meerut, soon spread to the north and the central India. Now this revolt started taking in all the corner, all four parts of India. It was joined by farmers, craft persons, and the other section of the Indian society. Yes, because all had been the victim of British with their wrong rules and policies, and everybody wanted the British to go away from India. Indian soldiers overthrew their superiors and marched to Delhi to crown Bahadur Shah Jafar, the last Mughal, as their king. Indian rulers such as Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, and Kanwar Singh joined the rebel. They all joined this rebel and were united to fight against British. Rani Lakshmi Bai was married, and the Nana Sahib continued the battle. Nana Sahib continued to fight the battle. The revolt continued for 2 years before it was crushed by the British. The revolt had been continued for 2 years and it ended up, and the British were the winner. The mutiny failed because it lacked proper leadership and planning. There was no planning, only they united with each other, but the British army was very powerful with various modern weapon, which we did not have. The British had better trained soldiers and superior weapons, as I told you. Also, some Indian rulers helped the British. Some Indian rulers also helped the British because of their greed. Bahadur Shah Jafar was arrested and exiled to Burma. He was taken to Burma, now it is Myanmar, where he breathed his last, where he died. His two sons were also killed, and that is why he said that Bahadur Shah Jafar was a Mughal last ruler. The revolt was a turning point in Indian history. The rules of the East India Company ended and the Indian came under the direct control of the British Crown. Now, there was no point because they fought with us with the trained soldiers and superior weapons. Yeah. After the revolt, the Indian realized that if the whole of the India has been united, because there was no unity, some of the Indian ruler helped the Britisher, and there was no unity and lack of this soldiers and superior weapon. They failed, and the British would have never succeeded. Now let us revise the points. India was famous for its wealth throughout the world. The English, French, Portuguese, and Dutch came to India as traders, but soon established their rules over many parts of the country. The British exploited the Indian ruler, farmers, weavers, and traders. The British exploited the Indian ruler, farmers, weavers, and traders. Siraj-ud-Dowlah, Nawab of Bengal, was defeated in the Battle of Plassey. The revolt of 1857 began in Meerut and spread to the other part of India. The East India Company's rule came to an end after the revolt, and the India came under the direct rule of British Crown. Children, I request you to read this lesson. It's very interesting how British entered the India through doing the trade and how many years they ruled India. Thank you.